Welcome to session 8. This week's session we're going to be looking at comparing and contrasting. So the aims and objectives for this session are to understand what the term compare and contrast means. We will examine the reasons why we compare and contrast. And the objective of this is to define the terms compare and contrast. Sometimes, to understand a text fully and appreciate that there may be differences of opinion, we use a technique called comparing and contrasting. The key term compare means to find the similarities between points of view or information provided. The key term contrast means to find the differences between points of view or the information provided. Comparing and contrasting is a way of looking at objects or views about the same subject and thinking about how they are alike and different. These items are alike because they are all food, but there are many ways in which they are different. It depends which food group they're from, whether they're sweet or savoury. They could be spicy or mild, raw or cooked. When you write to compare and contrast, you'll pay attention to these kinds of details. Why do we compare and contrast? Firstly, to explain. You may compare and contrast different foods to explain to someone which ones need to be stored in a fridge and which ones you can put in a cupboard. Secondly, to evaluate. You might compare and contrast different kinds of food to show why one kind of food is healthier than another. So to do this, we look for similarities. Apples and oranges are both fruit. They are both food. Both can be made into juice. Both grow on trees. We also look for differences. Apples can be red or green, and oranges are orange. They have different textures. Oranges need a warm climate to grow. Apples can grow in cooler climates. Why do we compare? We use comparison all of the time. For example, if you're hungry and want a sandwich, you go to the shop and look at all the different sandwiches. You can't buy them all, so you have to narrow down your choices. It could be a seeded bagel, a seeded bap, just a ham salad, or a croissant. You compare and contrast to make your decision. So, the aims and objectives for this session were to understand the term compare and contrast, and to examine the reasons why we compare and contrast. So to define the terms compare and contrast, write down which each of those terms mean. If you need to look at the video again, watch it from the beginning. If you still have questions or need help, please ask me in class or email me.